Alrighty, so here's the deal. Every month I'm an open book and I share my profit and loss statement for that given month. I just made a video and it got me thinking I should explain my fixed expenses to run my Amazon FBA business. Now, the reason I want to share these numbers is because it paints a picture to you of how much it takes to run an Amazon FBA business if you're anything like me. Now, everyone has personal preferences, different tools and subscriptions. I use only about a handful of them and they've gotten me this far. And this far, by the way, is last month I did $45,000 in sales, about $8,000 profit. That's not a brag, that's not a flex. You need to understand where I'm at in my journey so that this information is relatable. Whether I sell 1 item a month or 1,000,000 items a month, these are my fixed expenses regardless. First up, I have a professional Amazon seller account. There's 2 different options that Amazon offers you in order to be a seller on their platform, so it's non-negotiable. I do the Pro Seller account, it's $39.99 per month, unlimited amount of items I can sell on their platform at any given time, right? The other option is for maybe somebody that's beginning and selling less than 40 items a month, $1 per item that you sell. The reason I say less than 40 items per month is because if you're going more than that, you might as well just pay the $39.99. So that's my first expense. Next up is Inventory Lab, and I can absolutely gush about Inventory Lab. I want you to know I didn't start using it for about 2 months. I did everything bare bone essentials, and it's one of those things there's no way of knowing until you know. If I could go back in time, I would start from day one. It's $49 per month, and there's 3 things that really stand out to me about what I love about it. For one, when creating shipments, it is night and day easier than doing it on Amazon Seller app, okay? Or excuse me, Amazon Seller Central. I can't get into the nitty gritty of it. You just have to experience it firsthand. It is such a time saver and such a headache saver as well. For 2, Scoutify 2 comes with the subscription. It is the premier scanning app. It is way better than Amazon Seller Central. So just to be clear, the app itself, I would pay $49 a month, if not more. Just to be able to create shipments in Inventory Lab, I would pay $49 a month, if not more. And then you throw into the mix, you can do scouting or research on products on the desktop and the app, in addition to reports and other great features in accounting, worth its weight in gold. I am such a huge advocate for Inventory Lab. And again, that's costing me $49 a month. Number 3 is Keepa, truly non-negotiable. There's so many little nooks and crannies of Keepa, but just to give you a synopsis, it takes away all the guesswork of if you should buy a product or not. When it comes to buying products, you basically have to know, A, does it sell? And B, for what price, okay? And there's so many other bits of information. If not, you're guessing at best when it comes to making purchasing decisions. It's a European business, I believe. It's not the US dollar, but it translates to about $17 per month. It is so critical to your business that I think I would literally pay $500 to $1,000 a month. I can't think of a price I wouldn't pay. It's that essential. And actually, it's so well priced and cheap, and it's so critical. I am convinced that like Amazon and Keepa have a handshake deal because Amazon knows that this helps Amazon sellers with this information make good purchasing decision, and in turn Amazon's gonna make more money off of their fees and stuff. That's how crazy it's got me thinking, because it is such an essential part of any Amazon seller's arsenal. The repricer I use is SellerSnap, and that is the 4th fixed expense that I have to run my business. It is a pretty penny at $500 a month. Now, at this stage in the game, I have to use a repricer. I've used Aura, which was about $100 a month, and there's a lot of other much cheaper options available. I'm gonna make another video explaining how I justify this cost for a repricer when there's other options out there, but just know a repricer is absolutely essential, and I do spend $500 on it. That's how much I believe it is a vital and important part of my business. For anybody not familiar, really quickly, a repricer is software that ties into your Amazon products, and you basically set a minimum price you're willing to sell it for and a maximum price, and it will move the price of your items on your behalf. so that you have a much better chance of winning the buy box, because price is the #1 determinant in winning the buy box. And in Amazon, unlike other sites, the price constantly fluctuates. I just started my 5th paid expense for the month, which is called SellerAmp. It's kind of like a jack of all trades tool. To be honest, I don't have enough experience with it to give a real honest opinion. I certainly like it. I don't know that I'm using it to the best of its ability, that I need it to replace like Inventory Lab and other tools I have. But some things that I really like about it, instead of just using Keepa to try to get an idea of how frequently an item sells, there's much different projections on high volume items. So that's a nice little way to have another reference point on how often an item sells. So if you buy 2 extra items, for instance, one month because SellerAmp paints a better picture, well, that in itself would pay for this, because I think it's $26 a month, $23 a month, right around there, by the way. Also, I like it's another source and a one-stop shop to help determine if a company likely files IP complaints or not. So that's nice as well. So that brings my grand total for fixed expenses to just over $630 a month. And again, a huge chunk of that is coming from my $500 per month REPRICER. I do online and retail arbitrage, and everything that I've expressed that I use, I think is incredibly valuable. I think it's very easy to get overwhelmed as a beginner or tied up thinking that all of these subscriptions and all of these tools are gonna make or break your business. If you don't know how to use them, it's irrelevant. So these to me are like the essentials, and maybe with time I'll spin off and try 1 or 2 more things. I'm not above that, but I'd rather master these meat and potatoes and go from there. Now, of course, I have other expenses with the business. Now, things like Wi-Fi or my phone, I'm not gonna count those because I would have to buy those whether I had an Amazon business or not. I pretty much do online arbitrage, so not even the gas anymore for the most part. Very, very few things. But the other things that are variable expenses, just for instance, which we're not gonna get into, but just to address them, obviously the inventory, the cost of goods, buying the products, and then also the supplies to ship them, from boxes, poly bags, do not separate stickers. My supplies are typically around 50 bucks a month, nothing crazy. Inventory is gonna be dependent completely on your business. Last month, I think I did 23,000 on my cost of goods sold, just to give you some context to throw it out there. And finally, for anybody that's brand new, I don't want this to deter you. Truthfully, if I was talking to my friend that wants to start, I would say this: get an Amazon seller account, because that's necessary. You can even start with the account at just $1 per item until you reach that 40 item threshold, and then you can upgrade to that account. But you can switch, so start with that. And the other tool is Keepa, non-negotiable. Like I said, you're guessing at best if you're not using Keepa to decide if something is selling, how frequently, and for what price, along with many, many other tidbits of information that you need to run a successful business. So that sums it up. That's what I have to spend on a monthly basis, whether I sell 1 item or 1,000,000. I'm Jonathan. This is Duke Does Amazon. We're on Instagram as well. Thank you for being here. Any questions, comments, topics you want to see, put them below. I will see you guys soon. Take care.